We never expected nothing like this. Never.
What in the hell is going on here?
Oh, look at this.
Oh, wow.
Going in right now.
We're going to run a camera in Aladdin's cave.
Oh my God, look at that.
Season 13 just rewrote everything we thought we knew about Oak Island and what was hiding beneath it. The curse of Oak Island. For over 200 years, the Money Pit has been a mystery filled with failed attempts, lost fortunes, and unanswered questions. But this time, something was different. Rick Lagina and his team weren't just digging blindly anymore. They were following signals. Using cutting-edge ground-penetrating radar, they detected something no one had ever confirmed before. A massive chamber, perfectly shaped, buried deep inside solid bedrock. When they finally broke through, what they saw didn't feel real. Stacks of gold bars stamped with royal markings, heavy chests filled with emeralds and rubies. A treasure so massive, it instantly changed the stakes of the entire search. But just as quickly as they found it, everything went wrong. The moment they stepped inside, the island reacted. A powerful surge of seawater exploded into the chamber, flooding it within seconds, as if the island itself was guarding what lay below. And that's when it became clear. This wasn't just a treasure hunt anymore. This was something bigger, something planned. Because buried beneath Oak Island wasn't just gold. It was proof of a hidden system, a secret network powerful enough to control wealth across the seas. And what the team uncovered in Season 13 might be the key to exposing it all. Deep underground, in the heart of the legendary Money Pit, the impossible finally happened. A treasure worth over $110 million was discovered, right where history, legends, and decades of failure had all pointed. But this breakthrough didn't come from luck. It began with a single drill strike that cut through layers no one had ever bypassed before, until it hit something solid. When the drill came back up, it carried more than just dirt. It carried gold. Pure, undeniable gold. In that moment, everything changed. For the first time in history, the team wasn't chasing theories anymore. They were standing on the edge of the truth. What makes it even more unbelievable is that this exact location had been mentioned in records dating back to the 1800s. Early explorers came incredibly close, but somehow missed it by just a few feet. The treasure had been there the entire time, hidden in plain sight. Now, before we go deeper into what they found next, make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss a single update on this incredible Season 13 discovery. Now here's where things get even more intense. There are long-standing rumors tying Oak Island to legendary pirates like Captain Kidd and Blackbeard. For years, locals believed these figures may have hidden massive riches somewhere in the New World to keep them out of British hands. And now, new clues seem to support that. The map used by the team included a section labeled Kidd's Treasure, written in old ink, suggesting that whoever built the original system knew exactly what they were protecting. This wasn't random loot. It was part of a massive, carefully guarded fortune, secured with pressure-triggered traps and flood tunnels designed over 300 years ago. The level of engineering is so advanced, it feels like the builders followed a precise blueprint far ahead of their time. Every step forward felt like a fight. Veterans always said, "The island fights back." And that's an understatement. The deeper the team went in Season 13, the more resistance they faced. Pumps failed without warning. Drill bits snapped against impossible layers of rock. So they turned to even more advanced tech, ground-penetrating radar and seismic scans, to see what lay 160 feet below. What showed up on the screens stunned everyone. A massive, perfectly shaped rectangular void, roughly 30 feet long and 10 feet wide. Not natural, not random. This was a man-made chamber, carved directly into solid bedrock. Realizing what they were dealing with, the team made a bold move. To reach it safely, they began sinking a massive 10-foot-wide steel shaft, designed to bypass unstable ground and avoid the deadly flood tunnels waiting below. And what they were about to uncover next could rewrite everything we know about Oak Island. The price of this mission was massive, but in Season 13, the payoff was finally within reach. The curse of Oak Island. As the shaft pushed all the way down, the team hit something extraordinary. A huge slab of hand-carved granite. It wasn't just sitting there. It was mounted on iron hinges, now corroded into deep orange after centuries underground. Carved into the surface were strange symbols: a skull, a square and compass, and even a Templar cross. It was an unbelievable fusion of pirate mythology and secret society imagery, something no one expected to find in one place. To see beyond it, the team lowered a slim camera through a narrow opening. What appeared on the screen froze everyone. In the grainy footage, shapes began to form, unmistakable shapes, stacks of gold bars, neatly arranged on wooden pallets, glowing faintly even in the weak camera light. Rick Lagina and Marty Lagina stood there in silence. The reality hit them all at once. $110 million in treasure was sitting right beneath them. The legends weren't myths anymore. They were records of a carefully planned relocation of immense wealth. But whoever built this vault didn't just hide it and walk away. They left it protected, and that system was still alive. This treasure wasn't guarded by stone alone. The real danger was hidden within the design itself. When the team finally entered the chamber, it felt like stepping back 3 centuries. The air was thick, damp, and heavy with the scent of earth and rotting wood. Flashlights swept across the walls, catching flashes of gold everywhere. Each bar weighed nearly 40 pounds, stamped with markings from the Spanish Royal Mint. Around them sat at least a dozen oak chests reinforced with iron bands, some bursting open with coins, emeralds, and rubies. It looked like something straight out of a pirate legend, except it was real. The scale of it was overwhelming. Hearing $110 million is one thing, but seeing it piled inside a stone chamber makes it feel unimaginable. But in the money pit, nothing is ever simple. Old stories had warned about traps, and those warnings proved true the moment the team moved closer. A deep grinding noise echoed through the chamber. On the floor, barely noticeable, were slightly lowered flat stones. Pressure plates. The mechanism had been triggered. Within seconds, a thunderous rush of seawater burst into the chamber through hidden channels in the rock. This wasn't a leak, it was a full-force flood. The legendary flood tunnel system had activated, not because of drilling, but because people had entered the vault. Panic spread as water surged toward the treasure. In an instant, the mission shifted, from discovery to survival. They had to act fast or risk losing everything back to the ocean. High-powered pumps were rushed into position, battling the incoming seawater for control. The noise was deafening, machines roaring against the force of the Atlantic. The system was even designed to increase pressure with the tide outside, making it nearly impossible to stop. Whoever built this didn't want anyone taking that gold. Eventually, the water was held at knee level, just enough to begin extraction. What followed was slow, intense, and incredibly risky. Heavy machinery was too dangerous. The chamber could collapse at any moment, so the team relied on ropes and pulleys, lifting each 40-pound gold bar one at a time. Each chest had to be secured in nets and carefully raised up the 160-foot shaft. Darkness, water, and constant danger surrounded them. Every splash, every creak of rope felt like the system might trigger again. It was as if the builders had designed the vault to fight back even centuries later. But the biggest discovery wasn't the gold. Hidden among the treasure was a smaller cedarwood chest, preserved remarkably well despite the damp conditions. Unlike the others, it didn't hold coins or jewels. Inside, wrapped in layers of wax and oilcloth, were ancient documents, leather-bound books, and tightly rolled charts. At first it seemed underwhelming, then came the realization. These weren't just papers, they were answers, far more valuable than gold. They revealed that Oak Island wasn't just a hiding place for one pirate's loot. It was part of something far bigger. The writings were encoded using a mix of symbols and pirate shorthand, taking experts weeks to decode. But once translated, the truth was shocking. Famous pirates like Blackbeard, William Kidd, and Calico Jack weren't operating alone. They were part of a massive organized network, a secret syndicate. This wasn't chaos, it was coordination. A pirate-run system that spanned the Atlantic, complete with shared resources, structured leadership, and even its own form of banking. And Oak Island was their northern vault. In Season 13, the story takes an even bigger turn, because that $110 million discovery was just the beginning. The Curse of Oak Island. What the team uncovered wasn't a single hidden stash. It was one piece of a global system. The documents revealed that this gold was only one deposit in a massive network of secret vaults spread across the world. Detailed charts mapped out transfer routes stretching from the Caribbean all the way to Madagascar. For something built over 300 years ago, the level of financial strategy was almost unbelievable. These weren't just pirates hiding treasure. The ledgers showed recorded transactions, investments in legitimate businesses, and even payments made to powerful officials in places like London and Spain. The more the team read, the clearer it became. The line between pirate and politician was almost non-existent. These men weren't just outlaws. They were early architects of offshore banking, running one of the most advanced criminal enterprises in history. By dividing their wealth across multiple hidden and heavily trapped locations, they ensured that even if one captain was captured, the fortune would survive. Which means the $110 million uncovered by Rick Lagina and Marty Lagina is likely just a small fraction of the total. And suddenly, everything about Oak Island makes sense. The complex engineering, the flood tunnels, the traps. It wasn't the work of one crew. It was a coordinated project funded by some of the most feared captains in history. The maps found inside the cedar chest pointed to other hidden locations that have never been explored, some deep in the swamps of Louisiana, others scattered across the Caribbean. A few even hinted at vaults beneath ancient European cities. And if Oak Island is any clue, every one of those places is probably just as dangerous. This discovery didn't just solve a mystery, it blew the entire story wide open. For the first time, there's real proof that 18th century pirates were highly organized, strategic, and far ahead of their time. They built a system that survived for centuries without being exposed. What most people missed all along was the brilliance behind it. They weren't just hiding treasure, they were building power outside the control of any nation. Now, this new information is shaking the world of archaeology. Experts from major institutions are heading to Nova Scotia, eager to examine the documents themselves. For Rick and Marty, this is everything they worked for. They didn't just uncover gold, they uncovered history. But success comes with a price. In Season 13, Oak Island is no longer a quiet dig site. It has become one of the most watched locations in the world. News of the $110 million find spread fast. Helicopters, drones, and even unknown boats naturally appearing near the island, watching from a distance. The team quickly realized something important. Finding treasure makes you a target. Security had to be ramped up immediately. The island is now heavily guarded, equipped with advanced surveillance systems. The original syndicate may be long gone, but the hunger for their wealth is still very real. And the maps? They're both a guide and a danger. To some, they represent unimaginable riches. To others, an opportunity worth risking everything for. For viewers, it might feel like the end of the journey. But for the Lagina brothers, this is just the start of something far more dangerous. Hidden within the documents are hints of something else, a final failsafe, a secret known only to the top leaders of the syndicate. And it might be more valuable than all the gold combined. Now the team faces a decision that could change everything. Do they hand over the maps to governments and let global powers fight over what's left? Or do they continue the hunt themselves, following the trail to wherever it leads? Because every new location brings new risks, new traps, new unknowns. The search for the remaining vaults could take them across the entire world. They're not just treasure hunters anymore. They've become guardians of a hidden history. The $110 million is proof that the system works. But the maps suggest there could be billions more still out there. And maybe the real treasure was never the gold. It was the knowledge, how these pirates lived, how they operated, and how they built a shadow empire that stayed hidden for over 300 years. What started as a simple dig in the money pit has turned into something far bigger than anyone ever imagined. The syndicate wasn't just a legend, it was real. And now, the Lagina team has brought it into the light. So here's the question. What do you think the true goal of this pirate syndicate was? Was it just wealth? Or were they building something like a secret nation? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more updates on this incredible Season 13 discovery.